going on, guys? Happy 2025 from the Sidelines. I'm Cullen Mac.
I'm Daniel DiMaggio.
It's our first episode of the new year. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's first start off with the NBA. We're going to go down south. Things are getting a little hot in Miami. Let's bring in our Miami Heat expert, avid Jimmy Butler fan, Noah Bentley.
Come on in.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Anytime there's drama with the Heat, come on the show.
Had to.
Okay, so you've got the Miami jersey on. The big question we're going to ask you is 3 questions, actually. So tell us a little bit about the Jimmy Butler drama, what 3 teams you think he could go to that you like seeing him on, and your thoughts on it.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back to the Philly play-in game, right? Jimmy gets injured. He's out. First round against the Celtics. He knows he can get it done. He's already beat them before, right? So he's sitting out. He's at home. He's pissed off. He wants to play. He wants to beat the Celtics. He wants a championship. So he's talking about it. Pat Riley doesn't like it. He says, if you're not on the court, shut your mouth. And that's just crazy after everything Jimmy's done for the organization. You know, that should show the passion of the sport, you know, that he has. He wants to play basketball, and he's saying that. He's speaking from himself, you know, from his heart, and Pat Riley just disrespected him.
Yeah.
You know, so he wanted a contract extension because he's like, I want to know if you want me here.
Pat Riley's old school. He speaks his mind, you know?
Yeah.
And it's his team at the end of the day, right? So.
And it works, but you could have gotten a championship. And instead, someone else is going to get that championship because let me tell you guys something. Let me tell you something. Jimmy went to the Timberwolves, playoffs for the first time in over a decade. Right? He went to the Sixers. Second round was the first time they were scary in the playoffs. Okay?
Lost to the guy on my shirt.
Lost to the championship team, Kawhi Leonard, his boy. Right? Or, I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I'm day to day.
Hopefully. Day to day, Kawhi Leonard fan. I don't know if I'm a Heat fan anymore. Yes, I am.
How do you feel about this?
Yeah, how do you feel? You've given us the groundwork. You've given us the history of it all. How do you feel?
I'm looking forward to seeing Jimmy on a new squad. Fresh start. Because last time he had a fresh start, he took him to the finals for the first time, the Miami Heat.
And then did it again.
And then he did it again. So next time he goes to a new team, maybe it's a championship.
Now, what are 3 teams that you could see him on and like that he's playing well?
Okay. First team that comes to mind that I would love to see him, and it works with the players on the team, is the Denver Nuggets. Okay. Now, they could do like a Michael Porter flip, you know, maybe add some other pieces around that on both sides. But I think, you know, the contracts, you put Michael Porter, some other players, it'll match up.
Do you think Russ and Jimmy work on the same team, though?
Both starting, no. Okay. Both starting, no. But I think if Russ is off the bench, which he's been playing good starting.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Another team would be the Warriors.
Okay.
They could, you know, give Kuminga to the Heat, which would be a great piece. That's a great piece.
I would never give Kuminga away. That dude's a monster.
Yeah, I agree, but...
He might be the next Jimmy. He's got much bigger of a figure than Jimmy Butler, but you're giving away a monster by doing so. You know, That's a huge prospect. I mean...
That might be what the Warriors are going to have to give up, though, to get Jimmy Butler. At least Andrew Wiggins and
if we're giving up picks, what's the highest pick you would give up for Jimmy Butler if you're the Miami Heat?
If you're the Miami Heat?
Yeah.
Well, they would probably want a first or something. Back.
At least 2
or more players
firsts.
than
All right, what's your 3rd team?
3rd team? Probably the Mavericks. I'd love to see him play with Kyrie Irving. Like he said in the past, Kyrie's his boy. So I think, like, you know, joining a team where he already has chemistry would be great.
All right, so one more question for that. Do you think Jimmy can work with Kyrie and Luka in a starting role, or do you think Klay Thompson leaves in that trade as well?
Right.
I think that wouldn't make sense if they already give up Klay Thompson. I think he's a great piece. I mean, obviously he's a great piece for a championship squad. He's done it so many times. But I think, like, there would have to be... Yeah, it probably would have to be Klay, now that I think about it. Because I don't know who else they would give up. I think that they could play well together because Jimmy can adapt to any situation. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, or anyone else, in game... He's not making his shots, he passes the ball.
Right.
On the flip side of that, he's passing the ball really well, he doesn't take shots.
And he's not really a shooter from 3.
Right. but he knows how to kick it out to a shooter.
All right, Noah
heard it here
Bentley.
first.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
I really appreciate it.
Thank
I'm
you.
very grateful to be here.
Now to the MLB.
It was getting hot in here with that Miami talk, huh?
It was. Let's go to LA and cool off a little bit.
Yeah.
Dodgers made 2 big signings. They lock up Teoscar Hernandez with a 3-year, $66 million deal. So that's pretty much exactly what he wanted. And they also got this absolute stud from the KBL, Hae-Sung Kim. He's an infielder. Last year he had 30 stolen bags, and I believe what was his batting average? 300 something?
326,
326.
383 on base percentage.
That
This
guy's
guy
crazy.
can smack it. And he can steal. You're getting yourselves another weapon on your hands, which you don't need because it just makes the league more unfair and hard to watch.
Yeah, I see 3 weapons on this shirt. Also, shout out to Dead Threads. Got this shirt from them. They got a bunch of just sick stuff. You like this shirt?
No, yeah, I think it would look better with Juan Soto, Mark Vientos, and Francisco Lindor. But other than that,
No,
sure, it's
maybe
cool.
there's an idea.
Maybe there
All
is.
right, well, Dead Threads. We're not sponsored.
Shout
We
out
just
Dead Threads.
Really love the merch.
We're into the thick of the NFL season, my friend. And
Well, season's over, pretty much.
right, but we're at week 17, and we're getting right into the thick of the best part of the season, which is the playoffs. But I thought we would start with some possible trade rumors within the NFL going into next season.
Okay.
My question is, for 2, and it's both wide receivers, and they're both in the AFC East. Number 1, does Tyreek Hill stay with the Dolphins?
Man, as stingy as the Dolphins were with their players this year, like with Calais Campbell and Shaq Barrett, I don't see them really moving him. But I know he reposted that
You
Chargers
saw that
thing.
tweet?
And
You
it would
saw
be
the tweet
cool.
on New Year's? He said, Happy New Year's, especially to the Chiefs. He said that on New Year's.
Does he go back to the Chiefs? I don't know if that makes sense. They just trade him right back.
What was the Chargers thing?
Someone posted a thing about a trade with him, and he reposted
Oh,
it.
my God. Yeah, this guy wants to leave. Mike McDaniel cannot... No, there's no more vapes or flumes that he can give the guy to satisfy him of his own collection.
Listen, he's got 13 kids. I don't think he wants vapes and flumes. I think he wants
money.
BBOs. Or
Oh, yeah, I was not. Another kid, maybe? Just
Another child.
field the whole... I mean, he could build a Miami offense with the kids he's got right
Move to
now.
LA.
Let's
help
talk about-
Harbaugh out.
Let's talk about a guy who's got no kids but daddy issues with his quarterback.
Oh.
Heyo. Well, the wide receiver on opposite of him is boyfriends with his quarterback, so he must feel like a third wheel. Garrett Wilson, how much do you feel like a third wheel with Adams and Rodgers right now? Why are we hearing every week about trade rumors with this guy? Why? Is it just the toxic media of New York? Yeah.
I think it's toxic media mixed with, maybe some things true, maybe some things that got taken out of hand. But who knows?
He denied it all.
If Aaron
He
Rodgers
denied
is
it
there
all.
next year and he's not, then we'll know the rumors were true.
If Aaron Rodgers is there next year, more than just Garrett Wilson will be pissed.
Let's talk about your best receiver in football.
Oh, yes! 7-Eleven, open 24/7, all day, every day, Jamar Chase. Or should I say, Jamar Triple Crown Chase. It looks like it's all but over.
Yeah, it's locked in. He's going
He
to be the
locked
Triple
it up.
Crown winner. He's leading the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns.
Yeah.
16 receiving touchdowns at this moment.
This is all but over for Jamar, and all but solidifies him as the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Well, speaking about bests and, guys who maybe aren't the best, the Pro Bowl rosters were announced, where the best of the best get to play against each other. But there was a couple guys that were left off the roster, so I want you to let me know if this was a snub or not. All right?
The best of the best get to play each other at 50%.
Oh, no, it's flag football now, remember? All right, I'm going to name a guy, just snub or not. Patrick Mahomes.
No, not a snub.
Not a snub.
Not a snub. I can name 5 quarterbacks who have had a better season than him.
Baker Mayfield.
Snub? Yes, 100%. I mean, he's playing like a top 5 quarterback in the league, right?
The NFC guys that were chosen ahead of him were Darnold, Goff, and Jaden Daniels. Tight end for Miami, Jonnu Smith.
Robbed. Pro Bowl snub. I mean,
Should have been in over Kelsey.
easily, but
definitely
Jonnu
not
Smith's
going
not
over.
married to Selena Gomez.
He's definitely not going into Brock Bowers. On to the defense. Let's go with the guy that led the NFL in interceptions, Kirby Joseph.
Easily. He was totally snubbed. I mean, come on. I mean, you led the NFL in interceptions. You know, he's a part of one of the best defenses in the league. Yeah, definitely.
How about a top 3 in sacks, Danielle Hunter?
I'm going to say no. I don't think he was snubbed. You know, he's made a couple Pro
Max
Bowls.
Crosby got in over him.
Okay.
Well, that's just a name
That's Max
that got
Crosby.
in over him. He didn't play a lot of the season.
Top 3 in sacks is pretty convincing. It is pretty convincing.
And then finally, what about Caden Ellis? 139 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 interception, and 34 QB pressures, which leads the league for off-ball linebackers.
And he's a linebacker. Yeah, he was snubbed. Those are some impressive numbers, I must say.
You know who he plays for?
Falcons.
Who he played for?
He plays for the Falcons. Maybe that's why he didn't make it.
I know.
I mean, geez, come on. When's the last time a linebacker on the Falcons made a Pro Bowl?
Who are the top 3 QBs in the playoffs right now? Like the 3 guys you don't want to face in the playoffs.
Number 3, Joe Burrow.
If he makes it.
I guess that is, right? That is, I'm on
He's
the
kind of
fence
on the
about it.
outside looking
All
in
right,
right
fine,
now.
fine. If it's not Joe Burrow, then number 3 will slide Jared Goff up to number 3. I'll slide him up.
I'm going to say Jaden Daniels. That dude is...
Pump the brakes.
He's insane, man. His accuracy's there as a passer, which, you know, he's kind of always been more of a thrower, I would say. But it's just what he does on the run. Like, he's such a threat with his legs. It's kind of... He almost looks like... I mean, I'm pumping the brakes here. This is just what I'm saying. Like, where he is now is like where Lamar was, like, maybe 2 years ago.
Okay. So that means he's going to get a lot better.
He's going to get a lot better. Because I think when Lamar came in, his accuracy wasn't there, but Jaden Daniels has that accuracy.
But he doesn't have the legs, obviously.
I mean, he just set the rookie record for rushing yards in a season by a QB.
Wow, that's incredible. All right. Stats I didn't give about for 200, please.
He had like 900 rushing yards.
All right. Well, that more than Lamar Jackson had his rookie year. That might be impressive. Good for Jaden Daniels.
And he threw for 14 touchdowns to Terry McLaurin.
You should be Jaden Daniels' agent at this point. I mean, the amount of respect and love you're giving him. I don't even think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. I mean, he's a rookie.
Pro Bowl says otherwise.
All right, good for him. Number 2, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
You want to talk about a guy who does it all and does it all in the playoffs unless it's against the Chiefs, and a guy who has experience? It's Josh Allen, number 17 for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
That's my number 2.
I'll agree with you on that one. Josh Allen, for sure. Number 2, I mean, like you said, he's basically the MVP. He's done everything for the team all year. He is the team. That's why he's the MVP.
I think he's the MVP. It's not going to go to him, but I think he is.
What's weird is, like, it's so close. There's like 4 guys it really could be this year, and I wouldn't be upset if any of them got it.
Yeah. I would be upset if my number 1 pick, Lamar Jackson, won the MVP, because I feel like it's just Jokic winning the MVP over and over again by doing the same thing. But this is Lamar Jackson's best season statistically.
Correct.
And he's got, as of tonight, he's got the greatest touchdown to interception ratio ever.
Yep.
And I think his passer rating is second to Aaron Rodgers' season in 2011, and that's it. I mean, this guy is having an incredible season, and he probably will end up being the MVP. So number 1, I'm taking Lamar.
I mean, there's no doubt about Lamar's greatness this year. I talked about it the last episode. I mean, talked about the 4 MVPs. I'm going to say Saquon, Joe Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, any one of those 4. And Lamar's been dangerous, but I will say the one place he's never been dangerous, the playoffs. Which I hope he makes me eat my words, because I love Lamar. He was my quarterback in fantasy this year, just a great all-around player. He does it all, just like
true.
Josh Allen.
That's true. But
As corny as this sounds, I'm going to go with Mahomes, man. Every year he's in the playoffs, whether he's faced with adversity because his ankle's like split in half, he has no offensive line, or the offense wasn't good that year, he still finds a way to win. Especially in crunch time.
even amidst this completely average season he's having,
Oh, yeah, dude. Experience.
you can't count him out.
I'm taking the winner.
So you're saying the Chiefs are going to beat the Ravens in the playoffs?
I mean, I think it's going to be right down to the wire. Just like it was earlier in the season.
And if it's right down to the wire, you're taking Mahomes over Lamar?
If it's like a crunch time, like when Mahomes has to drive down the field, I'm going to take Mahomes, man.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
All right, to the CFB playoffs. college football playoff action. After a first round that was pretty abysmal, I would say, just all blowouts. We had one really good game in the second round. One really good game.
And that was ASU
versus Texas. Interesting that all of the top 4 seeds that got a bye are officially out of the playoffs. Also, all 4 of the Heisman candidates for the ones or one.
That is an interesting
are
stat.
not, in the
That is an interesting
in the playoff
stat.
anymore. But yeah, ASU, Texas, great game. Scadaboo, I mean, dude,
He's nuts.
he's legit.
I think
if he's not,
if he wasn't a first round pick, he is now.
or at least if he's not a first round pick, he's got to be like pick 1, round 2.
Yeah, right.
Like
Seriously.
that dude is so good.
Yeah, he's good. Don't leave him out of your
You
first
saw
round.
the thing, NFL GM or a scout said, I don't care what he runs. I just know that he runs through people, and you can't teach that.
Yeah, and he basically essentially put that team on their back.
I mean, he had like 90 receiving yards, over 100 rushing yards,
Yeah,
plus
totally.
3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns.
And I'll give some credit to the Arizona State defense for holding their own, of
Against
course.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah, those are some big
Props to
dogs.
the
Congrats
Sun
to
Devils.
Texas, and moving over to the Oregon
Oh yeah,
Ohio,
total Ohio
State game
murder.
was brutal. I had my boy over, and we basically just watched the Ohio State massacre that occurred. They absolutely laid the wood. I mean, I think Dan Lanning, he punted twice in the first quarter. Oh, way to be risky, huh? Way to err on the side of precaution. Every time he went for the punt, I was like, thank you, Dan. This game's going to be less and less close because every time you punt the ball, Jeremiah Smith's going to frickin' take it out for 7, and you're going to be down another 7.
Well, Penn State opened up a can of
Whoop.
on Ashton Genty and Boise State, and Notre Dame laid hit rock bottom on the Georgia Bulldogs, led by Gunnar Stockton.
How'd you feel about that as a Georgia fan?
I didn't think we were going to win. I'm impressed by what I saw by Gunnar Stockton. I thought he had a good game, even though they lost. And he made some, pretty big plays at certain times. But we had no run game because that Notre Dame defense is ridiculous, dude. And Riley Leonard can run.
I mean, how about your UGA? Let's not put up 10 points in an elimination game and blame a kid who's wearing a sweater underneath his jersey.
He's a walk-on.
Exactly. He's not going to do anything.
I guess he'll be walking
He's gonna
on to another school.
Yeah, exactly. He's walking off at this point.
Yeah, see
But
you,
I'm not
buddy.
going to blame it all on him.
Let's talk quick predictions real quick about this next round. So what we have, you guys, Ohio State, you guys are playing Texas, is that right? And then Penn State's going to be playing Notre Dame. So talk about just 2 really great matchups on either side. I think Texas, they have a good defense, but as of the last couple games, they seem like frauds.
Wow.
It's weird to say, with the 2 losses against Georgia on the season, they barely beat
2
ASU.
losses to Georgia.
Barely beat ASU.
Quinn Ewers, his draft stock is falling.
He's
It's
gonna
dropping.
Say hello to Uncle Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
next
he
year.
needs to really spark up the endorsement deals.
I think you guys are winning this game. It's either going to be a total blowout
I think it's gonna
again,
be close.
or it's going to be a shootout.
I think it's going to be close. I don't think we've played a defense like Texas's this year.
Texas has a great defense. I will say
That will be the best defense we've played all season next to Penn State's defense.
Penn State, Notre Dame. Man,
Penn State, that'll be a
Penn State,
toss-up.
Drew Aller,
I'm
and
going.
then plus their tight end, that dude's a beast. But Notre Dame, ooh, they look good.
I'm taking Notre Dame. I'm taking Riley Leonard. I'm
have to-
taking
I have to
Bo
rock with
Collins. I'm taking their coach, his young, ferocious energy, and I'm taking that defense. I think that defense is better than Penn State's defense.
Yeah, we got defensive powerhouse in Notre Dame versus the offensive powerhouse.
I
of
mean,
Ohio
who do you
State.
think I want to say? I think we're going to win our first national championship since 2015, baby.
All I'm gonna say-
Bring it back to OH. Bring it back to Columbus, baby.
Defense wins championships, so go Irish, baby. All right, well, that's going to do it for us
That'll
this
be
week
all for
on
us this
From the
week.
Sidelines. I'm Cullen Mac.
I'm Daniel DiMaggio.
See you guys next week.
See you next week.